My apology, we're running a little bit late tonight because of the briefing going a little extra, but I'll go ahead and call this regular meeting of Fairfield City Council to order for Monday, March 23rd, 2026. Now with that, Councilmember Davidson, will you lead us in a prayer and pledge of allegiance, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come here tonight, ask for your guidance as we sit up here in the council to take into consideration the opinions of the constituents, and then we make key decisions that we vote on tonight with full confidence and full understanding of everything that we're doing. And we ask on you guidance. We ask that you bless our first responders, police, fire, state, and allow us all to continue to make decisions that help this city and help us grow the city. We ask all this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Davidson. Here. Councilmember Bessel. Here. Councilmember Paulus. Here. Councilmember Pennington. Here. Councilmember Kraft.
Here.
Councilmember Myers. Here. Councilmember Brill.
We have a motion and a second to excuse Councilmember Brill. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Are there any agenda modifications? Seeing none, we have a request for an executive session.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, to consider the appointment, employment, or compensation of a public employee or official. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion for executive session under the recent state of the city manager POC.
Second. We have a motion and a second for executive session. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Davidson. Yes. Councilmember Bessel. Yes. Councilmember Paulus.
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington. Yes. Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Councilmember Myers. Yes.
All are in favor. An executive session will follow this meeting. Now we have special presentations, and I think we have someone here from the Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Jenny Mann.
Hello. How's everyone today?
Good.
I'm gonna
Welcome.
wait till our PowerPoint comes up so I know where I am. I am, like you said, I am Jenny Mann, and happy Developmental Disability Awareness Month. That is why we're here. We're going to tell you what we do. I'm from Butler County Board of Developmental Disability. I am a Community Connections Coordinator there. This is my friend Lindsay. She's going to tell her story in a little bit. And then to wrap up, our PR person, Patricia Dawson, is going to come up and wrap up for us at the end. So I'm going to tell you what we're here for, what we do, and why it matters that we're here. Okay, that gave me a little buzz, sorry. Our mission is actively partnering with people to access the world. We serve over 4,300 people in Butler County from birth to the end of life. So our mission is simple, like I said, powerful, yes, simple also. And before the 1950s, families had only two choices. They had one choice was to put their son or daughter in an institution or take them home and try to work it out with no or limited resources.
Excuse me, Jenny, can you talk into the microphone?
Sorry.
There we go. I want to make
Sorry.
sure everybody hears you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I think I'm loud, I guess I'm not. The parents demanded more from everyone, the state, the county, everyone. And that's how the county boards were made, because parents came together and said, we need more for our young ones. What is a developmental disability? Well, according to the Ohio state law, it is a developmental disability that is severe and chronic, that is likely last a person's lifetime. There's no cure for that, and develop before the age of 22. And is due to a mental or physical impairment or a combination of both. This includes autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and many, 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 many more that I am not going to say, because there are a lot. And I know, you probably know at least one person in your life that has a developmental disability. Everything that we do at Butler County DD is person-centered, meaning that our supports aren't for a blanket of people. It is, sorry, it is for, how do I go back? It is for that person that we are supporting. So we are person-centered philosophy, like we set up here. This is Ray and Vicky, I always get that confused. Ray and Vicky, they met early on in life and they fell in love. Then life happened like everybody else. They went away. They came back later in life and got together and said, oh, we want to stick together now. We are lifetime partners. So our agency, other agencies in Butler County came together, went ring shopping, went dress shopping, and found someone to do a commitment ceremony, and they had a commitment ceremony at this older in life age. So they are out there living their best life, and that is part of the stuff that we do, is making sure people are living and working and playing their best life. So we'll start with our services. We start with early intervention, which is 0 to 3. That is working with the young ones at home with their parents to get them on the right track of where they need to be. That includes PTs, developmental specialists, occupational therapists, and speech therapists. We continue that, and it's proven that if you have early intervention, every dollar that is spent, $7 is saved when they're adults. So we feel that that is a very, very important thing to have. It is not a mandated service, by the way, so we're doing that on our own. Service and support administration. So once the child goes to school, the therapist part is taken over by the school district, whatever school district that they are in. And then we still kind of hang around their life if they need other supports, but usually around the age of 14, when they get in junior high, freshman building, that's when we kind of go back in and help them with that transition age period. That transition age period is very critical because parents at that point go, okay, they can graduate high school, they can graduate 18, or they can defer it until they're 22. So then parents are always going, what now? So we want to get back in there early and say, well, this is what they can do. They can go for a job, they can go to day programs, and that's where our SSAs, our service and support administrators, step up and take over. They navigate all kinds of services. We currently at that age, we have like 3,000 people, something like that. It's probably more. This is a couple years old, so it's probably more than 3,000. They develop with job seeking, they help with budgets, they help find housing and all the kind of resources together. Understanding the waivers. Waivers are something that they receive when they waive, we say waive, their right to be institutionalized. So instead of being institutionalized, they're getting a waiver for their supports. These waivers are for transportation, they help with employment, they help with home personal care, that is someone that comes in their house and helps them with their duties. Technology, if they need technology in the home, they help with that. Home modification, if they need modifications in their home, and then the adult day supports, and then respites if the parents or caretakers need that. It is very important to know that 40% of that is paid for by your tax dollars. So 60% is paid by state, 40% is paid by state, tax dollars from our property taxes. So here's that little matchup. So we have not been on the ballot since 2004, which we did win that and have not been back on the ballot since. So in 2004, we were supporting 250 people. Now that is over 1,200 because that was in 2024. So that number went up very high. So we are operating on the same budget as 2004. 97, right now in 2026, 97.5% of that budget is going to those waiver expenses. Other supports that we offer is behavior supports. That's when someone goes into someone's home and they help if somebody's having trouble regulating, if they're having trouble with their figuring out what to do day to day, steps and stuff like that. They'll come in and help the family, the caretaker, the guardian, the individual to put schedules into place. They call them vision boards, and that's what that young man is looking at work. So they'll go into the work as well and help them do that. We also partner with the Metro Butler County Parks and then Travel Butler County. And then around, if you'll go around to some of the parks, you'll see some signs that we have put out there to help people navigate trails and other things. As you can see, the example up there is for Jungle Gyms. This is from Travel Butler County. And if anybody's been to Jungle Gyms, I know y'all have, we all live here. It's very stimulating, sensory overload. So if someone's having issues, this gives them a little, make sure you take your headphones. Make sure you dress comfortably. Here's what's going to happen. So before they get there, they know how to do it. So Jungle Gyms has used that quite a bit. Employment navigation. Like I said, we help with the employment navigating. We step in, we talk to employers and say, hey, this person needs a job. We've heard that from employers that having someone with a developmental disability work for them is a pleasure. They are dedicated. They are, they're on time. They love what they do, and they're very active in their employment. So that's why we love our folks to get employed in the city, because it's also letting them be part of the community as well as being a part of the work of the community of work as well. Here are some of our employment partners. We have McDonald's, Kroger's. Those are the ones that everybody usually goes to. Kaivac, Mercy Hospital, and then there's tons. Cannot list all of them because there's over 200 locations and we're employing over 450 people. So they're out there making their best lives. Ohio is a technology first, meaning that if we can get somebody in a home, or if they need help in a home, we're going to look at the technology that they need. For example, if someone is living in the home and they have trouble remembering to turn off their stove or the water, they have sensors for that. The one on the right, you can tell, I don't know if you can see the little white box on top of the stove. It'll turn off the stove if you need to. We have remote monitoring where people come and go. I have a friend of mine that has technology in her home because she lives on her own, but she needs that special help. If she gets up during the day at night and she's gone for a long period of time, somebody will say, hey, we need to call her and see if she's okay. And if she's okay, then they leave her alone. Or she also has a fall sensor in her home as well. If she falls, somebody will call and say, hey, you're okay. Do we need to call somebody else? And they will come and either help her or send somebody over to help. So that using technology also helps with funding. So it costs less to have technology in your home than a person. So and it helps for independence as well. We are also the mandated people to oops, did it again. Oh, there you are. We are also the mandated people to help with any kind of crisis that someone with a developmental disability has in Butler County. So we're the ones that they call. We work really close with our law enforcement agencies, making sure that people that have developmental disabilities are safe and are not being harmed or taken advantage of. So that's part of one of our mandated things that we have to do. Further impacts in the community, we partner with all of those agencies up there with wraparound, inclusive housing, Help Me Grow, Butler Tech with Project Life and Project Certs. I don't know if you guys have heard of that It's a great program for someone after school. They can go and they learn how to take jobs and stuff. So I am actually going to turn it over to Lindsay, and she's going to tell you her story. Are you ready?
Good evening. My name is Lindsay Riley, and I am very grateful for being a part of Fairfield, living in Fairfield. I work at 80 Acres Farms, and I also really am grateful for the Board of DD and everything they do for me. I'm also proud to be a resident here, and I also work at the Inspiration Studios. The opportunities here in Fairfield are amazing, and I enjoy going to concerts and to playing at the Jonah Axel Miracle League, and I think that Fairfield does a really good job of making you feel welcome, and I thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lindsay, and very well said.
I know we're taking up a lot of your time, so I'm grateful for that. But like Lindsay just said, Fairfield is such a welcoming community, and I know just hearing her talk, I love to hear that. And then also from our experience at the board, the Fairfield Police Department, Fairfield Schools, it's just over and over again. There's so many parts of Fairfield that is welcoming to us and to the community we support. Jenny touched on this, but we are a levy-funded agency, and we operate on property tax. Our last levy was passed in 2004, and then we have another one from 2000. So we've been sustaining on those same revenues. Unlike schools, we don't have inside millage, so that means when your property values increase, the amount we collect on that is the same as what it was in 2004 or 2000 when those levies last passed. This is just a quick snapshot of our revenues from 2025 and our expenditures. You can see our expenditures are far exceeding our revenues now. A lot of that goes back to those waiver services. So again, back in 2004, when our last levy passed, we supported 250 people through waiver-funded supports. In 2024, that number had risen over 380% to 1,200, and that number continues to steeply climb. It's the right thing. That's how we're intended to operate. But again, you can see from the red and blue bars that the revenue we collect will be consumed. 97.5% of those revenues will be consumed by our waiver obligation in 2026. And in 2027, our waiver obligations will exceed the revenue that we collect through that. That makes up the majority, I believe. How can I go back? You can see from the chart here on the top, you can see that 83% of our budget, or of our revenue, is from local revenues. So that is a significant portion of our budget. For that reason, in the past September, we declared a fiscal emergency and then immediately instituted several cost-saving measures. To date, we have $3.7 million in savings, although this actually does not encompass a recent phase that our board recently passed, so it's actually more than $3.7 to date. Some of those include we have put a pause on all raises and increases for staff. We've reduced our working hours, which in turn resulted in about a 7% decrease in wages for staff across the board. The exception for that is any part-time staff. We've put a pause on all promotions and vacancies. We've cut our family support service funding in half. That went to supporting families that don't receive a waiver if they needed help with respite, so like camp or some kind of day program for their child, just so they could have time to do grocery shopping, things like that. The funds for that have been cut 50% in half. And then we've also paused all locally funded services. This as well is supports that we provided to families that didn't qualify for a waiver. So again, the impacts that are now, it was a last resort, but our fiscal emergency is now starting to impact the families that we're supporting. One other thing I don't know that I noted is that the waiver supports are federally mandated, which again, it's good. This is how it's meant to be. But once a person is enrolled in those supports, we cannot even legally disenroll them. Not that we would want to. This is, again, how we're meant to operate. But I think that's helpful to understand. Because we're in fiscal emergency and the only solution is additional revenue, we have placed a levy issue on the May ballot. So that'll be for 2 mills new, which would generate about $26.5 million. For the house that is valued at $100,000, that's $70 a year or $583 a month. This again would just allow us to continue to operate as we are. It wouldn't expand services or anything. It would protect the services that exist. This is an important thing, and I was happy to come up and share this because you all are residents of the community that is providing this support. So this is a very real part. This is what you are providing through your tax dollars. So we're grateful for what you have provided so far, and we look forward to many years of being able to continue to do this. But again, ultimately, the purpose of this presentation is the fact that it's Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in March. As you saw with efforts through Travel Butler County, for instance, and different things like that, we're looking at ways that we can expand access. And I think Fairfield is definitely a shining example of a lot of ways that happens. But if you have any ideas on ways to continue that, please reach out. We want to be able to do more with that. So any questions?
I think you've laid it out pretty well, and thank you for coming in. Thank you for what you do, and hope things work out well for you in May in your election or your levy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again for coming in.
Thank you, and thanks for allowing us all to come up and have our chance to speak. So.
You all did very well. Thank you.
You have a great night.
Next on the agenda, we have Mr. John Harmon with the Fairfield Optimist Club and Mid-American Soccer Classic. John? And his fancy scarf?
More about my scarf later.
I can tease John because we're both Optimist members.
Yeah, so obviously my name is John Harmon, 50-year resident of Fairfield, but I now live in Westchester at 4292 R.E. Smith Drive. Just an accident of housing, but anyway. I've been, as I mentioned, a long-term member of the Optimist Club, and almost as long I've been a member of the executive committee for the Mid-American Soccer Classic. And the Classic is coming up on April 10th, 11th, and 12th. In 2025, we had 62 divisions, about 408 teams. The weather was terrible. Approximately 4 inches of rain fell over the weekend of the tournament, but thank goodness there was no lightning, so we played. For the first time in a couple of years, we had teams from Michigan, New York, and other states. They were very leery as they drove in because of the forecast, but we played. The fields held up well, though we did have to shut down a few of them as we got into Sunday and shift some games around, but we played every game. Comments came in on our website and social media. A few were negative, postulating that we should have canceled, but the overwhelming majority were very much in favor and very positive, particularly from the out-of-town teams. They were happy because we played. They drove for hours. The tournament was held and not canceled. We played. I think one very positive example would be a group that came down from Michigan. They sent several teams last year. It was a long drive for them. This year, they're sending over 30 teams, and they would send more if we had room for them, because we're going to play. The only thing that will stop us will be lightning. The numbers for 26 were somewhere around 440 teams, which is about a 10% growth. We're going to be 72 divisions. We're going to be using 54 fields. Just counting the players, that's going to be 8,000 kids from ages 8 through 18. We'll be using fields. I'm going to get this thing to work, I think. No, maybe I'm not. We're going to be using fields at the Optimus Club. We're going to be using fields at Joyce Park. We're going to be using fields at Fairfield Youth Football. We're going to be using fields over at Fairfield Youth Fields. We're going to be using fields off the map over at Fairfield High School. And we're actually going to have also off the map 6 fields at Ross High School. One thing we developed over the last couple of years, because we need a lot of fields, what we managed to get ourselves in a position that the fields that we are using, we can control. So even during the inclement weather, we're going to play. We did do some damage to our fields last year because we played, but our fields actually drain very, very well. Most of the Optimus complex, most of Joyce Park, it's gravel fields. So the water pretty much goes through for us. We're going to have teams from 7 states. Butler County Visitors Bureau estimates that since we have 8,000 kids, we're going to have a minimum of 16,000 adults, parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters. The economic impact is going to be someplace around $2.3 million in direct dollars and probably in the range of $3.5 million in total impact. We're going to start games on Friday night, which would be April the 10th. We'll be playing primarily on Friday at the Optimus Complex, the Joyce Park Complex. I think we're going to have some games over at youth football as well in Grow Lane. Games will go all day Saturday at all locations. Games will be very heavy in all those locations on Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, we go to championship games primarily at Optimus, Joyce Park, and over at Fairfield Youth Football. Sunday afternoon, one of the things that I enjoy the most is trophy presentations. We're going to be giving away 8,000 trophies. Oh, and by the way, Mayor, you asked about my wonderful scarf.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when the tournament first started, it was associated with Fort Hamilton days way back in the 70s. Shortly after that, it became primarily an Optimus function, and it was called the Fairfield Optimus Invitational through the mid-'80s. But somewhere around the mid-'80s, the name got changed to the Mid-American Soccer Classic. So this will be the 40th anniversary under the name of Mid-American Soccer Classic. That's great. One of these scarves will be given to every one of the winning coaches so he can wear it proudly as he leaves here and advertise us.
What about the mayor? What about the mayor, John?
He's so needy, so needy. One of the things we try and do every year is to try and work on improving the event. We're probably going to have 30 food vendors this year, mostly food trucks, scattered throughout the Optimus, Joyce Park, and youth football. We're improving the signage. We've been working on the signage every year for the last 4 or 5 years to get the signage a little bit better every year to make finding the right field the right way to go. We made some mistakes last year in the field numbering because we went 1 through 16 at the Optimus Club. We went 17 through 32 at Joyce Park. Then when we went over to Fairfield Youth Football, we started at 1 again. And it turns out that was a mistake. So all the fields will be numbered consecutively so that you won't get confused. If you're looking for field 1, there's only going to be 1 location and not 2, so we fixed that. I do want to point out that we do a lot of work with several departments in the city. The Parks Department, the city schools, the police department, the streets department, and et cetera. And their cooperation for what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish is integral to our success every year. One of the neat things we've done in cooperation with the streets department is put together some banners that advertise the tournament. The banners are now up on the city streets here in the core area. So I think that we're ready to go for 2026. If you're not involved with soccer, you might want to stay away from Joe Nuxall Lane coming up on the second weekend in April because the traffic is going to be bad. However, the traffic plan we've worked out with the city worked last year, and we're expecting it to work again this year. We do a few things here and there as we go through the tournament every year and kind of get feedback for what happened, what was good, what was bad. We're trying to reduce a little bit of the parking impact at the Optimus and reduce the parking impact at Joyce Park. We've moved some of the games away from those areas. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to relieve the pressure a little bit. We're adding fields at youth football. And again, I mentioned we added fields over at Ross High School. So I think we're about ready to go. By the way, with me is Brandon Ramey, who is co-director of the MASC and has had that job for a number of years. So does anybody have any questions?
I'd like to say the tournament is very well run, very well organized. Last year, the weather was awful. I was there Saturday and Sunday, I think, in a golf cart. It was miserable, but the tournament went well. You guys do an outstanding job, and that's what everybody says. I'm not a soccer person. I'm an optimist, so I go down and hope for the club. But all these people are in there just go on and how well this thing is run. And even our concessions, they're reasonable. I mean, we don't gouge people that come down there. We have fair prices for drinks and food. And that's another thing people compliment us on is we're not charging $7 for a hot dog. You know, we're charging $1 or $2. Same with a bottle of water. I mean, it's and you mentioned the economic impact that it has on this community, and it's huge. And wish you all the success in the world. I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I told Rod I'd be there regardless of weather and drive the golf cart around again. It's a fun job, but
You get to meet a lot of people in the
get to
golf
meet
cart.
a ton of people from all over. I mean, it's a great time, and you all do an outstanding job in keeping this thing going for 40 years now. And again, the people seem to rave about how well it's run. But then you've got some of the same people that have been there forever, and this is just boom, boom, boom. They know what's going on.
It's a recipe book.
Yeah.
We open it up and maybe add a dash of salt or a little bit pepper each year to try and make it a little bit better. Yeah.
But people love it, and the increase this year is a testament to how well it's run. So wish you all the best. Thanks for coming in tonight, and I'm sure I will see you down there.
Thank you. I'm going to throw in one last final advertisement for the Optimist Club. We have an event that follows about 2 weeks behind the MASC, which is one of the most fun events that we run at the Optimist Club every year. So on Tuesday, April the 28th, in conjunction with the entirety of the special ed department of the Fairfield City Schools, we will run a fishing and field day at the club. It's an all-day event. Kids are sent to their regular schools on their regular schedule, and then about 9 o'clock, the special ed department reloads on buses and comes down to the Optimist Club. We run a lot of things for the kids on that day, but the event is just known for the fishing. So we have 100 fishing poles. Some of the kids who have been there before come off the buses, make a beeline for where the fishing poles are. The school sends down 175 seniors to act as big brothers and big sisters for the day. And if anybody would like to come down and observe that, you're quite welcome to come down. It is a fun event. Usually goes from about 9 o'clock to about 1:30 or 2 because we have to bus the kids back to school. We serve lunch, simple food, ballpark food, and we bring in flubs for dessert. So it's a fun event. So if anybody has the ability to come down, I think you'd enjoy yourself.
It is a great day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Okay, next we have the Fairfield Prevention Coalition Safe Prom Proclamation. Joe?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And it's, this is our annual trek down to your council chambers. Every year, the Fairfield Youth Coalition comes down and asks for your support in a Safe May, Safe Prom campaign that we do every year. The Fairfield Prevention Coalition, Youth Coalition, has been around for 20 years. It's a grassroots, community-based nonprofit. We have served over 35,000 high school students in the 20 years we've been in existence, raising awareness and education about the dangers of drugs, stay away from parties, stay away from alcohol, don't drink and drive, and all those good messages that you're familiar with. With me, I have some of our senior officers who are just going to spend literally 5 minutes total telling you what the campaign is all about. And I'll start off with our president, Charlie. Yes, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Toulouse. I'm a junior at the Fairfield High School, and I'm one of the co-presidents here with the coalition. I just want to tell you guys about a couple projects we've been working on with prom, because we know around prom time, a lot of high schoolers get a lot of after parties, and if we're being honest, a lot of high schoolers will drink around prom time. So what we're trying to do we're trying to better the community and get them away from that. So one specific one that me and some of the officers have been working on is we've been creating stickers to pass out to students. It's just something simple and fun we can do. I designed a sticker that related to the theme for prom. The prom theme is like a night in paradise. It's kind of like tropical. So the saying was lay off the drugs, but lay L-E-I on it. It's just a pun I made. Yeah, but we pass them out. The students like them. When we pass them out, you see them everywhere. You see them on backpacks, laptops, you know, people just put them on their shirt. In the fall, we saw someone, they had like a bunch all over their shirts and backpacks. It's just a great thing. Students like it, and it just spreads a positive message too. Another campaign we do, it's also related to stickers, but it's called the Sticker Shock. And we go to gas stations and places like jungle gyms, and we place stickers on the alcohol containers saying, hey, even if you're 21 and you can purchase this, you can't give it to people under 21. A lot of times parents will host parties and say, it's fine if they drink as long as they're at my house, I know they're safe. We're trying to get across that that's not okay. So we're putting these stickers on the alcohol containers saying, you know, like I said, even if you're above 21, don't give this to someone that's under 21. So those are the projects, a couple that we've been working on for the spring and prom. I'm gonna hand it off to Jacob. Thank you.
All right, I'm Jacob Hopper. I'm a senior. I'm our senior representative. And something we've been doing for a few years now is farming effects, where we go to each middle school and we teach the middle schoolers about pharmaceutical drugs and like how bad they are for them. So we do that for each quarter. We go to the health classes there, and yeah, we just kind of talk to them. We do skits. We make it entertaining, and they really have a great time every time we do it. But we like help inform them. And then at the end they ask us questions. It can be about that. It can be about high school, and we also try to like prepare them for high school, so then they know what's coming up for them in the future. So that's another big thing we do that I really enjoy. And Rohan's gonna explain the next thing.
Good evening. My name is Rohan. I'm a junior at Fairfield High School, and I'm the freshman liaison. Another one of our projects that is really prominent is silhouettes. This is where senior members of the coalition, like Joe or like some other members, have a cutout image of themselves with a positive message on them. And we put these silhouettes around places such as like Kroger, the middle schools, high school, and it's really around. And these silhouettes just show a positive message and a reminder that our community is getting better and our youth is really trying to spread awareness. But now I'll hand it off to Sophie.
And the silhouettes are wonderful. We used to have a flat Steve that's no longer with us. And I sure do miss him. He was a good guy. But please, go ahead.
So my name is Sophie Gorchek, and I am a junior secretary on the officer board. And I'm going to talk to you guys about the Letters on Lockers campaign. So once a year, we have a meeting along with our freshman coalition where we read these letters from all 6 elementary schools. And these letters basically are to all the high schoolers that are attending prom. And they're saying, like, don't do drugs, make sure you stay safe on prom, just funny little things as well. And we put these letters around on senior lockers so that it can just be a nice little reminder to stay safe at prom and just do what you think is right. Thank you. I'll hand it off to McKenna now.
Hi, everyone. I'm McKenna Martin, and I'm a junior. I'm currently the social media coordinator. And basically, another one of our campaigns is the Plant the Promise campaign. And this is where in the fall we will plant tulips in the flower beds at the front of the high school. And then they come up right about this time during prom. And then we will also put signs that say, like, Plant the Promise. And it's just a great reminder for our students every day that they walk into the high school. Like, hey, like, prom's coming up. Make smart decisions. Like, don't go to parties. And just it's an overall reminder for them to be aware of their actions and that their actions have an impact. So, yeah. Thank you.
So in closing, there's obviously a lot of different projects, a lot of different campaigns that we're doing throughout the years, but our main goal is to lower prescription drug abuse in our kids in our district. And do we accomplish that? Yes, we absolutely do. Over the past 8 years, following a general downward trend, the Fairfield Youth Coalition has worked to decrease the levels of alcohol abuse, marijuana abuse, prescription pain medication abuse, and vaping abuse over the past 8 years. So the Youth Coalition is made up largely of students, and it's run for students. but a body is only so strong as the sum of its parts. So today we're just asking for your support in all of our campaigns, not only with the Safe Prom campaign that we have coming up, but all our future campaigns as well.
Absolutely, thank you. And we've been supporters for a long time. Now I have a proclamation I'd like to read. Anybody want to come up here with me, or just stand on my own? I did take a shower this morning, so I should not offend. But I have a proclamation from the office of the mayor. Whereas adults who provide alcohol to those below the legal drinking age of 21 are placing those youths at risk for health, safety, and legal problems. And whereas alcohol use by young people is dangerous, not only because of the risk associated with acute impairment, but also because of the threat to their long-term development and well-being. And whereas it is illegal to give or allow your teens' friends to drink alcohol in your home, even with their parents' permission. And whereas anyone found guilty of providing alcohol to youth can face a fine up to $1,000 and 6 months in jail, in addition to any civil action that could be brought as a result of damages or injury related to the offense. And whereas the City of Fairfield, in partnership with the Fairfield Prevention Coalition, encourages residents to refuse to provide alcoholic beverages to underage youth and to take necessary steps to discourage the illegal and unhealthy practice, including the reporting of underage drinking by calling their local police. Now, therefore, I, Steve Miller, Mayor of the City of Fairfield, Ohio, do hereby proclaim April 11th through May 23rd, 2026, Safe Prom and Graduation in the City of Fairfield, Ohio. So I will give this to you, young man, and thank you for coming in. Also, I think the foundation, do they have the opioid money that we received from the opioid settlements?
So in November of 2025, City Council authorized an endowment of $350,000 to go to the Fairfield Community Foundation. That money has been given to them in January. So the way that program was designed is to run a competitive grant program of which the Fairfield Prevention Coalition would be eligible. So the foundation will open up a grant program. We'll utilize their expertise in analyzing how those applications come in. They will then make a recommendation to the city, and City Council will ultimately have final approval as to who is awarded those grant funds. That program was designed in a way in which we were able to endow the funds so the principal remains instead of a direct appropriation where, you know, eventually those monies would be consumed and then depleted. So this was a way to attempt to preserve prevention and those types of activities perpetually. And the foundation, we believe, is a great partner to advocate for those causes.
Absolutely. Do you know how much money is available to be granted this year?
I don't know the exact number, but from the discussions we had with the foundation last year, typically anywhere from 3 to 5% would be what is allocated. So a rough estimate would be somewhere between 14 and 18,000.
Okay, well, this is important because they received 10,000 from Fairfield Township. We got to do better than Fairfield Township. We can't let them win, okay? We need to do better than the township. You're either in first place or you're in last, and I think we can do better. So approach the Community Foundation, see what they can do, and you have our full support to do whatever we can to help you in your cause, because it's a good one. And we appreciate you all coming in and doing what you're doing, leading by example. And you can't ask for any more. So again, thank you for coming in, and hope you have a great prom this year. So. Hey, are there any other citizen comments for council tonight? Seeing none, then we will move on to council reports. Councilmember Bezel.
No reports.
Councilmember Paulus. No. Councilmember Pennington.
I have something real quick. Curbside brush program starts back up in April, And the residents need to check the website or call Public Works to see when will their area be picked up. And then also brush dumpsters for residents can be requested at any time all year long. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an update for the Parks Department. Friday starts the season of Marsh Park Bait House operations. They'll be open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Also, Groovin' on the Green. Tonight, we'll be announcing on Wednesday on Facebook the lineup for Thursday night Groovin' on the Green. I can tell you that I got a chance to get a little preview, and there's a pretty popular band coming to Fairfield that I'm really, really geeking out about. So I'm excited for Wednesday's announcement. You guys have to wait till then, but very cool, very cool. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Myers.
Nothing to report.
Councilmember Davidson. Thank you. We have no public hearings tonight. Let's see, we have approval of minutes. We have the special meeting minutes of March 7th, 2026, and the regular meeting minutes of March 9th, 2026. Are there any corrections, deletions, additions to those? We'll let those stand approved as written and submitted. We have no old business tonight, and we will go to new business. And I'll need a motion for title only.
I'd like second.
We have a motion and we have a motion and a second to read all new business by title only. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Community and Public Relations. Mr. Timmer, anything there that you want to add to?
No, nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Davidson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a simple motion to approve the following nominations to the Charter Review Commission. We have Edward Kammerer, Edward Swain, Teresa Durbin, Lori Brown, Terry White, Ron Snell, and Don Moser.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on a simple motion for Charter Review Committee. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And we have a simple motion to approve the following 2026 boards and commission appointments effective April 1st, 2026. Larry Bagford for Board of Zoning Appeals, John Kincaid for Civil Service Commission, Doug Meese, for Parks and Rec, Donna Cannon for Sustainability Commission, Lauren Duncan for Sustainability Commission, Daniel Vitale for Culture Arts Advisory Commission, Catherine Green Myers for Environmental Commission, and Mary Wigand for Environmental Commission.
Okay, we have a simple motion to approve the boards and commission appointments as is read. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councilmember Davidson. Next, Development Services, Mr. Timmer.
We have two ordinances tonight for development services. The first ordinance is to authorize the city manager to execute an economic development transfer request form for a liquor license transfer to Multi-Nix Incorporated at 5,000 River Road. The second ordinance is to amend the zoning map to rezone approximately 2.5 acres at 6640 and 6660 Dixie Highway from M2 General Industrial to C3A General Business District Modified. The city encourages these parcels to be rezoned to commercial in order to encourage redevelopment and protect the integrity of Route 4 as a commercial corridor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timmer. Councilmember Myers for Councilmember Burrell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item is an, an ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute the Ohio Division of Liquor Control Economic Development Transfer Request Form for the transfer of a liquor license for Multi-Nix, Inc., and declaring this an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Motion and a second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is an ordinance amending ordinance number 166-84, codified ordinance of Fairfield, Ohio, section 1130.01B2, the City of Fairfield, Ohio zoning map. This is the first reading, and a public hearing is set for April 13th of this year. I'm going to let this stand.
Thank you, Council Member. We will move to Parks and Recreation. Mr. Timmer, please.
We have one ordinance tonight for Parks and Recreation. The ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Century Equipment for the purchase of golf maintenance equipment, including a new fairway mower and cutting reels to be used at South and North Trace. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Myers, please. Oh, I'm Councilmember Kraft, I've got all messed up tonight.
No problem,
I
Mr. Mayor.
apologize.
Thank you very much. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Century Equipment for the purchase of golf maintenance equipment and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings, please.
Second. Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion for adoption, please.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councilmember Kraft. Now we'll move to public safety. Mr. Timmer, any comments?
We have one simple motion, one ordinance, and one resolution tonight for public safety. The ordinance is to authorize a contract with Vance's Law Enforcement for the purchase of 85 new Glock firearms and accessories to replace aging equipment. The resolution is to authorize participation in a $97.6 million national opioid settlement agreement with 6 distributor dispensary defendants. Thank you.
Public safety, Councilmember Paulus, please.
Yes, I have a simple motion not to request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of Quick Trip Corporation, 7330 Dixie Highway, Fairfield, a permit Class 1 and Class 2.
Second.
We have a simple motion and a second not to request a hearing on a liquor permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Vance's Law Enforcement to the purchase of new Glock firearms and accessories and declaring it an emergency. Make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second. Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I have a resolution to authorize the city manager or his designee to sign and submit the participation form for the participation in a settlement of claims with 6 rented defendants pursuant to a settlement agreement dated February 23rd, 2026, related to opioid claims and declaring it an emergency. Motion to suspend second and third reading.
Second. Motion and second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Second. Motion and second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
I have one other thing. With the retirement of Fire Chief Laycamp, I would like to welcome interim Fire Chief Chad Cooper tonight. Chief Cooper will serve as interim chief until the permanent chief has been named. Congratulations, Chief Cooper.
Thank you. Okay, now we will move to public utilities. Mr. Timmer, please.
We have 2 ordinances tonight for public utilities. The first ordinance is to authorize a contract with Bain Enterprises for the purchase of a new valve maintenance trailer to assist in the routine maintenance of the city's water distribution system. The second ordinance is to authorize a contract with Bayer Becker for professional engineering services related to the replacement of the Lake Manor sewage lift station. Thank you.
Councilmember Myers.
Thank you. First item is an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Bain Enterprises for the purchase of a valve maintenance trailer for the Public Utility Department Water Division and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The second item is an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Bayer Becker for engineering services related to Lake Manor sewage lift station replacement for the city's wastewater collection system. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Second. Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks. Motion to adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, council member. Next, we'll go to Public Works. Mr. Timmer.
The first ordinance is to authorize a contract with J.W. Brennan for emergency drainage repairs to a section of the Pleasant Run Creek wall that has been undermined. The city's drainage crew has routinely made repairs to storm sewers and in eroded areas of the creek on occasion, but the lack of practical access, the need for a larger excavator is needed. The second ordinance is to authorize a contract with Southeastern Equipment Company for the purchase of a new 2026 case backhoe to replace an aging 2002 model. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two ordinances. The first one is an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with J.W. Brennan of Ross, Ohio to perform emergency drainage repair, Pleasant Run Creek wall, and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make the motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second. Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second. Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And the second ordinance is to authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Southeastern Equipment Company for the purchase of a 2026 Case 590 Super N four-wheel drive backhoe and declare an emergency. I'd like to make the motion to suspend the second and third reading.
Second. Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, council member. Next, finance and budget, Mr. Timmer.
We have 5 ordinances tonight for finance and budget. The first ordinance is to authorize a contract with Mobilecom for a centralized video surveillance system upgrade, including hardware and licensing. The city maintains a network of video surveillance cameras used to enhance public safety, protect city assets, support law enforcement investigations, and monitor critical infrastructure. The second ordinance is to establish updated salary and hourly rates for city employees, including contractual wage increases for the FOP and IFF members. The third ordinance is for supplemental appropriations from the general fund, water, and sewer revenue funds. Primarily, the transfers are related to the capital improvement program as authorized. Additional monies are necessary in the building and zoning division for outsourced plan review. The final 2 ordinances are for appropriations. The contractual appropriations total $857,083 and includes 7 projects in the police, public works, parks and recreation, and public utilities departments, as well as the information technology division. The non-contractual appropriations total $392,310 and cover 15 separate projects in the public works, parks and recreation, police, and public utilities department, as well as the city manager's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timmer. Councilmember Bezel, please.
Thank you. I have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Mobilecom for the purchase of hardware and licensing for the surveillance system and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second. Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
I have an ordinance to establish salaries and hourly rates for certain salaried and hourly employees of the city of Fairfield, Ohio, and to authorize and limit the numbers and types of certain employees to repeal ordinance number 9-26 and all amendments thereto and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second. Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And move to adopt.
Second. Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Motion is second, suspend second and third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And I have an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Motion is second, suspend second and third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And move to adopt.
Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And lastly, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 148-25 entitled, an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second, suspend second, third reading. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second. Motion is second for adoption. Any comments from council? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councilmember Bezel. And now, Madam Clerk, we have the meeting schedule.
Monday, April 13th, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m. Monday, April 27th, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m. Monday, May 11th, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And now we'll move to executive session.